Carbon offset is not the way. Carbon offset programs are where you pay for a business or a company or some nonprofit to make systems that take in carbon. So you put out a bunch of carbon and they then take out the same amount of carbon by planting a bunch of trees and forests, since they are a carbon sink, or making some other kind of carbon sink, or working on like carbon filters for companies that don't filter out their carbon dioxide. However, I think this should be a last resort. It should not be something that we put all of our money into right away or at all. Like, we should be focusing on reducing our CO2 emissions first, and then anything left over should be carbon offset to help make the whole planet carbon neutral. Because planting trees, well, nice, sometimes is not the best way to go about it, because one, they take forever to grow. Two, not all of them germinate and actually grow into trees. You have to actually take care of them. And most trees do not take in as much carbon until they're mature trees, which could take somewhere between 50 to 200 years. And at the same time, we are taking down a whole bunch of trees that are mature and are already a carbon sink. And every time you cut down those trees, you're letting all the carbon that they are holding in out. So while we'd love planting more trees and creating more carbon sinks because it is necessary, it should not be the first resort, it should be the last resort. We should all be focusing on reducing our CO2 emissions first, and then using that as a last resort. Say we're going traveling, and obviously you can't go somewhere without creating carbon emissions at this point in time. So that's where you put in that carbon sink. Or like for companies, they should be focused on reducing their CO2 emissions first as much as possible. And then anything that is absolutely necessary that they cannot get rid of with renewable energy or by changing their systems, they then use it to completely become carbon neutral.